3 months he just searched. He was not even in my contact. He searched me somewhere in the Facebook, and he sent me such messages that he wants to learn that phonetics part, and he asked me to give him some lessons. Actually, the thing is that why I'm telling this example, because he's good at English, but the thing, when I asked it, already you are in USA and you are working there, you have studied there, why at this stage you want to learn this phonetic symbol? So he said that so actually I can communicate with them, but when I speak some words, they laugh at me. And say, for example, he's from Madhya Pradesh, and I'll tell you that in Madhya Pradesh, particularly whose mother tongue is Hindi, then in Hindi that a sound is not there. This a sound, as in cat, bat, a sound is not there. So most of the Hindi speakers speak it as a cat, bed, gate, carrier, like this. So he said that, so when I speak like this, they laugh at me. What I want to say, actually, he has a commerce background and still he wants to learn these things now, and he remember this thing because he remembered that class, that at some in some class, so and so teacher has taught me about this phonetics, and he may be knowing about that one. She contacted me there. I will also share one example. When I went to seek my admission to Indore for MPhil, and then at the first time the clerk asked me that where is your GAPE certificate? Actually, I could not get it. What he is asking about GAPE certificate? What is this GAPE certificate? I provided him a mark sheet, TC, and all those things. What is this GAPE certificate? Then I came to know that he was talking about the GAP certificate. So this communication, this barrier can be abridged if we teach the student and make the student familiar with these phonetic sounds. Now, actually, in language classroom, generally, it is the situation, and it is the integration of some of the ideas, some of the tips, and we can make our teaching and learning process easier. Some of the things that we can follow here, it is that pseudo production, how the classroom management can be done. Pseudo production means, actually it is followed up to some classes till class 5th or 6th or 7th. Pseudo production means the reciting of the rhymes, reciting of the poem, performing of the plays. But although it is on a paper, practically it is less followed. I'm dead sure that even though after 9 class, means in 9, 10, 11 and 12 class, there is always one act play. But actually, although we think that the play should be enacted, but at the at some higher level, I'm dead sure that only in 10% classes this practice is followed. That enacting the plays, that how to do the pseudo production. Then, secondly, I'll say that incorporating the wait time into the classroom activities. Actually, the research say that when the learner is learning the second language, he needs 3 months of the wait time. Actually, at the other class, at the higher level classes, obviously that student has become familiar with the second language, but still we should provide him that time, because when you raise a question, when you ask a question in the class, and some of the students will raise their hands instantly, but few of them just may hesitate, and they may not raise their hands, and or they will take a time. They may take a time. And another thing, that another tool in the language teaching is also that the main one is the major one is situation. The teacher and also the confidence. And then when I was talking about the pronunciation, but some students hesitate because of their pronunciations, and for those students we should give them the wait time to respond to your questions. Next one, we can also use the advertisements, because advertisements are based on for their persuasive language. So how the persuasive language can be used, or how the brief sentences can be used, how the precise language can be used, for those purposes we can just make use of the advertisements. And second, the next thing, we can use the multilingual signs to decorate the classroom walls. Actually, it has been practiced in most of the schools, but generally walls are decorated with two languages, in a bilingual mode only. But what I mean to say that it should be in a multilingual form, multilingual signs. Okay. So the next thing, it is one of the most important, and we have already talked about that, accent training is a matter of unlearning the regionalism and arriving at a neutral speech style. That when we teach them about the phonetics and phonetic sounds and the organs of speech of the second language, and when they have some basic concepts, basic knowledge about this one, then it will help them to unlearn their regional accent. Okay. Use of reading cards can be done for those learners who are the what I say that visionary learners, because there are the various types of auditory learners, kinesthetic learners, and visionary learners. Those who are good at those who are good at kinesthetic, then it will be helpful for them. Then use of talking books. Nowadays there are so many audio books in the market. We should have the knowledge of the conjecture. Conjecture means actually the ideas which are based on the opinions. They are not verified. Then the gesture of the knowledge of the convention. So if we are learning the second language, that time if we are just accustomed to the conjecture and gesture of the knowledge and conventions, it will help us to understand the comprehend the second language. Making connection between the languages, the mother tongue and the second language. And obviously the first language should be used for the purpose of the reconstruction of the meaning, attempted in expression. Okay, actually, many believe that when the student learn in the English medium school, and that is why, because of the environment and because of the circumstances, they find it less difficult as to learn English language. But I think that yes, it is true that the environment plays a vital role. But generally, when they are good at their when the concepts are taught in a better way in the mother tongue, so that time I think it will be helpful to them. The third thing, the next thing I would like to state, language education need not be limited to the achievement and with respect to the particular level, but must be reoriented to the measurement of the language proficiency. And second, the next thing I'd like to state that we must teach the student to match their behavior. Actually, every teacher does this one. I'm not talking about to teach them the manners, teach them the rules and regulation. I'm just talking about that how they can match their behaviors in the class. Say, for example, some students are talkative and some students speaks less in the class because of the inferiority complex or because they are not confident about their pronunciation. Sometimes they don't want to express themselves. So even though they are making mistake, we can make them to match their behaviors in the classroom, and this way it can be beneficial. The next thing I just would like to add here is that we can assign some small tasks to them in the classroom. A student could work in groups to create a class survey and explore how the other members of the class look like. Say, for example, we can group them and we can give them a card with the noun, pronoun, conjunction, verbs, and we can ask them to make a list of all those words. If you find in a if you come across any verb while listening to the teacher, you note down it and note down it on your card. And so in this way, they can make a list of the verbs, nouns. So it will the teacher will come to know at the end that the students are able to identify what is noun, what is verb, and what is conjunction and what is adjective. So, and if they are not if they are mixing those words, then we can just make it clarify to them. So this one, the survey type, the class survey would may help us to teach them the language. Then the classroom can be treated as a locus of the hybridity. Locus, I mean to say that the center, yeah, actually the center of the hybridity, because there are students, those who know the different languages, and that part can be taken with a positive note, and that classroom can be treated as a center of hybridity. And finally, I'll just say that this is the last slide. We can engage all possible learning style, auditory, visual, and kinesthetic in our teaching, because there, as I told, that there are different type of learners. That auditory learners learn based on the listening and or conversation. Sensory learners learn based through the reading, writing, and visual aid. Kinesthetic learners learn based moving and by moving on or touching a stimulus related to the lesson. So if I give an example of it, then I'll say that say, for example, if you are teaching a lesson about a trip to Andaman and Nicobar Island, then when in auditory mode you can summarize the lesson. Then you can, for the sensory learners, you can give them some cards, and the same can be done for the kinesthetic learners, that giving them cards and making them feel that they are actually the visitors to the island. So in this way, all types of learning style can be incorporated in the teaching language. I think with this one, I would like to stop. If there are any questions, I would like to answer in the last 5 to 10 minutes. Hello, Dr. C. If there are any questions, I'd like to deal with in these last 5 minutes. Thank you for your patience.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Am I audible? Okay.
Yeah, you are audible.
Hmm. Very wonderful deliberation,
So,
Dr. Mahendra. Really, it was a nice session. I feel this session is very important because uh, teaching learning material and teaching is incomplete without a proper language. If we have language and whosoever are doing B.Ed or completed B.Ed or are teaching faculty, they are knowing since 2015 one new course has been introduced, language across the curriculum. The aim of this course is we must have our subject specific language. So this session we have planned with this purpose that any material, any teaching learning material, we must require language for the students, for for the end users. Rather, I say student, I will use end users, and we have to meet our material with the requirement of end users. So with this note, I would uh, I would like to thank you, Dr. Mahendra,
thank you,
for
Ashit.
this
Thank you,
wonderful
participants.
deliberation.
Actually, I wanted to end it on time.
Hmm.
So that's why I was very much aware of the timing because I have been assigned some duties at college and actually it started at 2 o'clock. But I
Okay.
told one of the colleagues to be there for half an hour and I have to be there at 2:30. So if there are any questions related to language, actually the questions are most welcome from the participant side. I'm not sure. Actually, the topic was diverse ability. I don't know how far I justified to that one, but I focused it on language part and particularly the English language. And I was very much keen to put these two questions about the pronunciation at this national platform. And so that's why my focus was there. And so I actually the time was for 1 hour also, so I could not focus for some technical teaching learning tools, and it was not in my plan also. But because that diverse ability and language education, that title itself requires full workshop, one full workshop for that one. But anyway, I could get 1 hour there and I could put up my two questions. I'm very much thankful to the organizer. Uh, I'm very much thankful to the organizer and also to the participant. Ashit, I think there is one question there. Let me find out.
Yes,
One
yes,
question is
please.
there. Sir, can you
Suggest
suggest
some pedagogies in class hybridity.
in class? Yeah, of course. Actually, see, the translation method can be used as a pedagogy in a diverse ability class. Say now I am teaching here in Pondicherry, and the mother tongue of the student is Tamil. So sometimes, and they are from a diverse background, and they actually most of them are from Tamil medium schools. So most of the time there are some students who do not understand what is spoken in English. Sometimes they come to me and they speak in a broken language, and sometimes what I say, what I do, that I ask some 2 or 3 students who know. Actually, all of them know Tamil. That's not an issue. But who are good at English, then I ask them to translate what I have spoken, what I have said in the class, and in a way that can be we can take a help of the student who know the multi languages, and in that way we can we can just develop the situational pedagogy, I will say. Situational pedagogy, that how that issue can be sorted out, how it can reach to the student. So in this way, that those who know the multi-language in the class, they can be used as a resources there. So far, I think, Minal ma'am, I hope that you got my point, what I want to say, and I hope that you are satisfied with this one. And also about these processes, I'll definitely post one or two name of the book in the WhatsApp group that can be useful for dealing with the hybrid class. Okay, hybrid class in the sense the diverse ability class, I will say, instead of using the word term hybrid, I'll say that the diverse ability class. I'll definitely put one or two matters there in the common group. But at the situational base, we can just handle this way and we can develop the pedagogy. Because in language, what I believe is that although there are many theories, but instead of theoretical part, if we go with on a practical basis, it may be more useful. Okay, so that's why whatever the situation based pedagogies can be developed to teach in the second language, particularly English or any other language. That I just would like to say about this one. I think Minal Misra, ma'am, you may be satisfied with this also. Hello.
Hello. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah, she has answered that yes, situational pedagogies and adaptation and implementation will help. Definitely. Sure. If there is any other question, Dr. Shih?
Sir, I have one question. Phonics teaching for lower classes will definitely impact in pronunciation factor. They may, I have one example of one of the student when we were teaching them phonetics. Just a child, small child, I'm not talking for a secondary section. Google, they just read it as googly. So such type of pronunciation, how can we deal with that phonetics system?
Yeah, you are right. Actually, that phonetics part, it's tough to teach at a lower level. Yeah, of course. And that was also my point, that why that student read it googly. He was trying to, because E letter sometimes in some of the words is kept silent, and in some of the words it is pronounced as E. So that is why that student pronounced it as googly. Okay. So the actually your question is right, but I think that at a primary level that may not be useful, but at least at 9-10 level we can make them familiar with this sound system. And in this way, even though if at 9 and 10 level, that why this E is silent and why this E is not pronounced at the end. So if we make them familiar with these processes at 9 or 10th level, I think it will be helpful, because I'm dead sure that at the primary level, the student may not understand it because it is a technical part and it is not made for that one, that at a primary level, it may not be possible, but at least at a higher level, making them familiar with this pronunciation part may be helpful. I agree with you that the student, I told you the example of that one, the DUPE, dupe, and sometimes the student pronounce it as dupe, sometimes dupe, something like that, because yeah, it may happen, because at a primary level, generally the students follow the pronunciation of their teachers or the elders, whatever they listen to it. But although it may become their habit, but and that is why see that word was new to that one. So whatever the word they have already heard, they pronounce it correctly or they pronounce it as they have heard, but their face is difficult to read also. But it is also not a part of the pronunciation, but it is also the part of the reading also. When we make them at least at some higher level, at least at class 9 and 10 level, if we make them habitual of that, familiar with that one, so it may work out there. I'm not sure that it may not work out at the primary level. Hello.
Hello, middle ma'am. Any
Yeah,
further,
thank you. No, thank you.
Thank you. Any other query from our language student Wrinkle? Do you have any query?
There is one question from Jyoti. Actually, I'm not getting this question properly. That what are the major components of the reading? What exactly she wants to say? Component means what? I'm not getting that question properly.
She may be meaning phonetics, pronunciation, and punctuation mark. All these things, maybe she may be wanting that.
The components of reading she has stated here. I'm not getting that question properly in fact.
Hello, Jyoti ma'am. Would you like to elaborate your question?
I just want to make it clear that what she exactly wanted, components of reading.
Hello, Jyoti ma'am, are you there? Hello.
We can, okay, pronunciation. Okay, if you are asking about the function of the punctuations in the reading or in a speaking, in a reading or in a speaking, then there you will have to just understand that the functions of the each punctuation. So actually say for example, are you listening to me? What are you listening? These are the two questions. So then one question is yes no type question and the other one is the WS question. Then are you listening to me? Then in the yes no type question the falling tone is used, whereas the WS question the rising tone is used. So in that way we'll have to understand the function of the punctuation also. And as far as the reading and pronunciation part is concerned, then punctuation of course play a vital role in the use of tone. And I told you that when we'll teach them how to unlearn the regionalism and we'll teach them the function of the punctuation part, then it will help to read and also pronounce. So far as I think, no, that is another thing that there are 14 punctuation marks number. We don't have to bother about that one, but we'll have to just think about then when she say for example if there is exclamatory mark, then exclamatory mark also how that sentence can be pronounced with the exclamatory mark. It depends upon the context. It depends upon the context. What is the context of that one? Whether it is shocking, whether it is wonderful. So in that way, depending upon the context of that sentence, we reflect or we pronounce that particular sentence even with a exclamatory mark. Okay, so it depends upon that we have to learn about the functions of the punctuations. That is the separate part, I think. And if we understand the role of the punctuation or the function of the punctuation, then it may help us to improve the reading skills as well as and the speaking skills also. She is again talking about, excuse me, Asit, she is again talking about, I mean to say the elements of phonetics that help the child learn to read easily. Okay, so I already talk about that one. I already told to the question of the middleman that it may not serve that objective as expected at a primary level. But what I mean to say that, yeah, because our first language is different and it is always will face always difficulties to learn the second language. But what I wanted to say throughout the session is that of course those mother tongue influences will be there, but if the children are aware of all those things at least at a higher level, so then it may be helpful to understand them, or it may at least understand the foreign speakers and understand the language. That is what, but it may not work out at a primary level. This phonetics part may not work out at a primary level because it is a bit scientific and it is only just to enhance the language skills. It is to enhance the language skills. Means with that one, you can go above the average. You can go ahead with that one. That is what I mean to say. Actually, that may not work at a primary level. Yeah, Asit.
I would like to invite our director and principal, ma'am, director of workshop, Tula, ma'am. Please, ma'am.
Thank you, Ashif. A very good afternoon to one and all. Respected experts and all dear participants. To teach is to learn twice. And in this 3 days webinar, all our experts have really helped us to learn and relearn. Gratitude is not only the greatest virtue, but the parent of all other virtues. On behalf of Dr. H.R. Gajwani College of Education, I take this opportunity to thank all our experts who enlightened us all with their expertise knowledge. Dr. N. Rohan Mete, Dr. Lokendra Oza. Sir, your demonstration of different experiments really helped children and they were really enlightened with it and they were motivated to do such experiments. Mr. Lokendra Singh Chauhan, your convex and concave experiments made me remember my science classes. And when a teacher makes child interested in learning, there the learning truly starts. Dr. Pawan Agrawal, sir, you helped us and I really wish to have one more in-depth lecture of yours because today online resources are too many and it becomes difficult for students or research scholars to search. So you helped each one of us and you made online research searching resources easy. Dr. Sebu, Mr. Ajit Thomas, sir, maths is the greatest fear for many students. Today you made maths easy. Dr. Mahendra Datta, today when most of our students are not master of all the languages or we find diversified students in our classroom, that time the language, the knowledge of different languages and the way you helped and answered even the questions which will surely help teachers to make language learning easy. I once again thank all the experts for taking out your time and helping us all to learn. Thanks all the experts. Thanks all the participants. Dear participants, many of you are questioning about feedback forms. Within 2 days, you'll get your feedback link. Our aim is to again take your exams. So I wish a few questions from the experts, and we'll do that. We'll add a few questions in each of your feedback link depending upon the sections, and based on that you can fill upon your feedback links, and then further within a week you will get your certificates. Thanks all of you. Good luck, good teaching, and good learning.
Thank you, ma'am. And thank you all the research scholar. Here I would like to thank Tulna ma'am for giving such opportunity to organize this workshop, and thank you from our all organizing team. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you all.
Thank you very much, Asit sir and your organization. Congratulations for successful completion of this beautiful workshop, and we have more such kind of surprises as coming up in near future. Let us continue collaborating like this. Thank you again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, and congratulations to you too, sir, for such a wonderful session.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar.
Dr. Pawan, we are planning.
Yes.
We are planning one session for you.
Sure, sir.
Our librarian ma'am is also organizing secretary of this workshop.
Okay.
She wishes that we will have one session.
Definitely. I'm pleasured.
You all are welcomed.
Thank you.
And Lokendra sir, आपका अभी भी नोट मटेरियल बाकी है?
जी सर, मैं बिल्कुल बाकी है, और सर मुझे बड़ी प्रसन्नता हुई इतने अच्छे वेबिनार को आपने आयोजित किया सक्सेसफुल के लिए मैं आपको बधाई प्रेषित करता हूं, और मुझे बड़ी खुशी होगी कि मेरा छोटा मोटा कंट्रीब्यूशन से अगर मैं आगे और आपसे सीख सकूं और अपना कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकूं, योगदान दे सकूं, तो बड़ी प्रसन्नता होगी। और जो भी सहभागी जो लोग इसमें पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं उनसे भी मेरा एक आग्रह रहेगा कि वे कृपया भविष्य की जो भाषा है, जो हमारे श्री डॉक्टर महेंद्र दत्ते जी ने अंग्रेजी के बारे में हमें अच्छी बातें बताई, तो मैं बाकी लोगों से भी यही कहूंगा कि एक नई भाषा जो है मशीन को समझने की भाषा, उसको भी अंगीकार करें, उसको भी सीखें, ताकि हम अगली शताब्दी में सफलतापूर्वक और जो ग्लोबल चैलेंजेस हैं, जहां पर हम भारत को आगे देखना चाहते हैं, वहां नई ऊंचाइयों पर देश को स्थापित कर सकें। और ये सारी कवायद बगैर शिक्षण के संभव नहीं हो पाएगी। सो आई थिंक दैट education is our leap and only the hope. People are our hope. Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and again congratulations, sir, for your wonderful session.
जी, धन्यवाद सर.
Thank you, sir. We will share feedback form with you, but even though if you want to share any feedback on this floor, you are welcomed. Otherwise, we are concluding this session now. Thank you again. Thank you all.